Hello and good morning. This video today is for my activist friends out there trying to create some positive social change. And by positive social change, let me be clear what I mean by that. You're out there fighting for racial justice. You're out there fighting to end systemic racism. You are out there fighting for free health care for everybody. You're out there fighting for food security for all. You're out there fighting for quality public education. You're out there fighting to lift and support and encourage down a positive path your fellow Americans. And so this is for you today. I have some strategy tips for you. So I've been an activist of one kind or another for almost all of my life. I have stood up for breastfeeding. I've spoken out on home birth. I've spoken out on veganism. And one thing I've learned, I've been vegan for 16 years, so let's take that one as an example. One thing I've learned over time as an activist, as a proponent of a movement, is that me getting in somebody's face and doing this, that is like the pink bracelet for breast cancer. That is the awareness. Hey, there's a problem and this isn't right and this isn't how we should be doing it. There's a better way. That's just the awareness. I've never found doing that to actually lead somebody down a path of being curious about the thing that I'm standing up for. I've never found somebody to be swayed to learn more by that in-your-face activism. I just haven't. It's not been successful for me. It is an awareness. It is a, hey, there's a problem. Let's talk about this. Let's look at this. Let's confront this issue. But it's not been the thing that's moved people forward in the direction that through research, through reading, through personal experience that I have found, through my education that I have found is a more beneficial path for everybody, not just for me, but for everybody. And so what has been effective? What has been effective, the most effective in winning people over, let's take veganism for an example. We know from the research that whole foods plant-based diet lowers the risk of chronic disease like diabetes, heart disease, certain cancers, obesity, Alzheimer's, all of this. We know that from the research. That's been shown again and again. And we also know from the research that one of the leading causes of death in middle and late adulthood is chronic disease. Okay, all of these diseases caused in a huge part by the foods we choose to eat. Chronic disease is not a part of the normal aging process. It's not a part of normal age-related decline. It's not. And so if it's the leading cause of death, one of the leading causes of death in middle and late adulthood, and we know that we can reduce our risk through diet, we know that we are, in essence, killing ourselves. And we can change that through our diet. Okay? So it's my background, my educational background, it's my life experience, I've seen it play out in a number of individuals I've known, and I've studied the research on it. So I'm passionate about that. I want people to incorporate more plants into their diet. Forget being vegan. Forget like the entire world being vegan. I want that, but I want more people first to start incorporating more plants into their diet. So what I have found, rather than educating, rather than getting in their face, what I have found is just taking my little light and shout out to Vegan Candle Co. for my candle, but I found that just taking my little light out into the world and eating my food, eating my beautiful, gorgeous vegan food, taking pictures of it, talking about it, and then sharing whatever information somebody wants to know about that. Getting rid of the stereotypes. Getting rid of the stereotypes and the prejudices through example. So how can we apply this to positive social change? Number one, I think a whole foods plant-based diet, if people adopted that, would be a positive social change. I think we'd see a lot of reduction in anger in our society. We'd see improved health in our society. We'd see reduction in killing animals and poor living environments surrounding family fire. We'd see a huge positive social change. But how do we take this example and put it toward fighting for racial justice, fighting to improve food security for communities? How do we put it toward improved public education? How do we put it toward that? I think the biggest way, again, taking our little lights out into the community, the biggest way we will influence others is to be that light, to be that example, to take what we want. What are we looking for? What do we get in your head? What are you looking for? What's your end goal? What do you want to see? And then doing everything you can to try to make that happen. I've seen during this whole pandemic, racial injustice, during this whole 2020 experience, I've seen in the streets of LA like the little free libraries, only they're fridges. It's a community sharing of food. You put food in if you have food to share, and if you need food, you take food out, and there are no questions, and there's nothing. I've seen things like that popping up, okay? I know there are community sharing groups like Buy Nothing on Facebook. That exists, and it's just a free sharing. There's no money. There's no, my candle's gonna heat up my arm. There's no money exchange. It's like, hey, I have this. Do you want this? Yes, I need that. Who has that? It's just community sharing. We need more of these community sharing projects. I've seen people doing kindness projects, sending out thank you notes and inspiring notes to people they don't even know. Just getting names from other friends and sending those out. What do you want to see? How can you make that happen? Do you want to see smaller classrooms, more safer classrooms, more personalized classrooms for children? If you're an educator, could you create a teaching pod? I don't even know what that means or what it looks like, but I keep hearing teaching pods. And maybe you're an educator and you take on 10 private students, okay? And as a parent, you're like, well, that's private school. And believe me, public school costs a lot of money. If you think public school is free, no, it's not. It's costing you a lot of money. And if instead you took some of that money and you put it toward a private, we don't have to be in school 7 hours a day. There's a lot of lining up and recess and lunch and discipline and waiting for people to get ready and waiting for people to get ready and waiting for people to get ready. There's a lot that doesn't have anything to do with education. So if a teacher creates a teaching pod and takes on 10 private students, and maybe you're like, well, that wouldn't be available to all. Well, maybe one student is whose family can't support that. Maybe that teacher decides to personally take that student on for free. Or maybe a neighbor pays for that student. We can do things for each other. We don't have to wait for government regulations and government plans and we can do things for each other. We can lift each other. We can buy each other groceries. We can pay a neighbor's utility bill. What does social change look like for you? What are you looking to make happen? And don't just say, I want you to get super specific today. This can be a long video, but stay with me. because I think it's super important if you're out there fighting for a cause, any cause. It doesn't have to be this cause, but any cause. What does this social change, don't just say, oh, I'm fighting for racial justice. What does that mean? What does that look like to you? Get concrete, get specific. If you had to pull out one thing that would move that movement forward, I just used move twice in one sentence. I can't do it. If you had to choose one thing that you might personally be able to do, and don't get overwhelmed by that. You can do a lot more than you think. What's your profession? How could you tailor that? What are your hobbies? How could you tailor that? Take your light, take it out into the world, and actively pursue. Not just talking, not just words, not just throwing your voice out, not just getting in somebody's face and saying, this isn't right. Why can't you see this? It's not right. And a lot of people can't see it. But they're not going to listen to you because they're not ready. That's what I found is people listen when they're ready to listen, and they won't otherwise. So what you're looking for the people who are ready to listen. You're looking for the people who are open to hearing. And even beyond that, you don't have to wait for that even. Every day I eat my food. I eat breakfast, I eat lunch, I eat dinner. I do what I'm doing. I pursue a Whole Foods, sometimes Whole Foods, sometimes not. I pursue a plant-based diet. And I do that without anybody else making that change. And I know that that lights up my world, and it lights up the world of the people around me, because I'm more positive, I'm healthier, I'm more energetic, I'm more fun to be with, honestly, than before when I was just loading my body with all that crap. What can I do personally? Ask yourself. A positive community change that I could personally do, and then just go fucking do that. You don't need anybody's permission. You don't need anybody's support. I'm vegan every single day I wake up, and I do that. And the way I've won more people over, and I'll say it like that because I do feel that passionately, that it is best for everybody to follow this kind of diet. The way I've won more people over is to just be a vibrant, thriving, healthy example of what it looks like to eat a plant-based diet. That is the bottom line. So if you go out there, let's take the free food on the little fridge. It's like the little free libraries, only it's a fridge, all muraled on the front, and I think muraled can be a verb if we make it, all muraled on the front, and leave food, take food. That's how it works. And how can I go out there and do that every single day? That's all I have to do. That's all I have to do. I'll go out there, I'll put my fridge on the business that agrees to have it, and I'll clean the fridge, I'll stock it with food, I'll encourage my friends to stock it with food, I'll get that started, I'll let people know it's there. How do I move forward with action personally? Because you're not going to change the world, but you can change the world for the people right around you. So ask yourself, what is my light? What do I have to offer? How can I, I'm going to put it out. How can I take that light out into the world, out into my community, and change the lives of the people right around me for the good? Let's start moving toward action. The awareness has already happened. The awareness has already happened. Some people are not ready to listen. That's okay. They're not ready to listen. but some people are. Some people are open. And I'm seeing that, and that's exciting. But beyond that, how can you personally go out yourself and create that positive social change for the people right around you? Go find your gorgeousness. Go take that little light of yours and throw it out at the world. And I'm super curious what you decide to do. I love you guys. I believe in you guys. And if you need help from me, any kind of help at all, I will do whatever I need to do, finding you people to help you, spreading the word of your mission. I will help you in any way I can. I'm here for you. Love you. Have a beautiful rest of your day.